Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I have been setting a bit, and so I was going to set some anyway, and I figured might as well do it with all of you because I had a lot of fun doing it with you all last time. So we can attempt this now. This is going to be a Japanese sums puzzle, so I'm going to need to set it in Penpa, which has the disadvantage that I'm not going to be able to have the rules on the screen. So I suspect that what's going to happen is that every little bit, someone's going to come in and ask what the rules are, and we're going to have to sort of be charitable and try and explain it. But the brief idea, like the very short summary of what it is I intend to make, is Japanese sums build your own Renban puzzle. So we're going to be drawing Renban lines into the grid according to Japanese sums clues. And so we'll have that. And we'll also have the rule that Renban can't touch orthogonally. I'm really wishing that I had... maybe I could write it down in a text file and take a screenshot or something. I could probably do that if I can figure out how to do that. Or maybe I can ask Tristan to do it for me, and Tristan can give me an image that I can put up with the rules. That'll probably work better. Okay. But anyway, you could pin a comment. That's a good idea. Maybe a pinned comment. That's a good idea. Okay, let me try and write out a pinned comment. Build your own Renban Japanese sums. Oops, darn it. Can I edit this? I cannot. Holding shift does not let you have a new line in YouTube comments. That is what I have learned. So I think I just need to make a text file with it and take a screenshot of it and then try and paste the screenshot into OBS. Give me a second. Actually, I can just pull up. Here's this dumb way to do it.
I think you can make a text box in.
Okay. I don't know. But I found a dumb way to do it, so we can do it the dumb way. So let's see. I will. Okay. So we're gonna have normal Sudoku rules. Draw some Renban into the grid. Renban do not touch orthogonally. Even themselves. Actually, let me phrase that better. Renban do not touch themselves or each other orthogonally. There we go. That's a better sentence. All Renban are at least 2 cells long and move orthogonally from cell to cell. Okay, and I should say Renban do not overlap, overlap or touch themselves or each other orthogonally. Okay, that gives me, I think, all the rules I need for that part. And then inside the grid are JSums clues. They give the sum of consecutive digits on... consecutive is a terrible word. Contiguous is a better word. Consecutive is probably not a great word to use in a Renban puzzle when I don't mean consecutive in that sense. The sums of contiguous Renban cells within their row or column. Not contiguous groups of digits, because there's going to be a digit in every cell. At least as I currently envision this. This is a regular Sudoku still. Okay, so now I've got this written down, so I can take a picture of it. Let's see. I'll find the screenshot button eventually. I hit it often enough by accident. I should be able to figure out what the command is. There we go. So we'll pull that up. Got it. Whatever. Save to desktop. We'll say rules outline. Okay, so we've got that. Let me find where it went. Probably I should pull up a file folder here. There we go. Rules outline. I can drag it over to here. Oh, except this is the wrong scene. I want to draw it into this scene. There we go. We'll do our best with something like that. Okay, there we go. Maybe I should drag this down a little so it looks a little better on top of me. There we go. Okay. Does that look quasi-reasonable enough? And is it clear-ish enough what that means? Tristan wants me to redo the whole thing. Wonderful. I don't know that I really want to redo the whole thing in order to do that. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Oh, fancy. Tristan knows a magic shortcut.
You hold Alt.
Tristan's ability to remember shortcuts for things is amazing. I can never, at no point, remember anything of that sort. Like, I have to look up, like, what the command is for print in Sage whenever I use it again. Okay, so I started setting a puzzle with these approximate rules. So I have a few clues, although when I last left off, I had a clue I really liked, but it also broke the puzzle, so I don't know exactly what I am going to do with it. But I'll at least fill in some amount of stuff, and I will try, unsuccessfully, to remember to switch. Oh, I don't want that size number. Medium. 10, 10, 10. So this was my beginning clues, beginning thing that I wanted to use. Because I don't think I've ever quite used this exact idea before, although it's going to be similar to some things that you have seen in other of my puzzles. But the point is, a 10-10-10 Japanese clues sum is actually more restrictive than it looks because of the fact that we need gaps between the sums. So, for example, this cell, and this is, you're welcome as you think about this, to think about this in analogy with that whole like J. Dyer deconstruction and the magic cells that have to be involved in the squares. This is really the same sort of logic. This cell has to be on a Renban, because if it's not, neither of those cells are, and then I have to fit 3 10 sums in 7 cells with gaps. But that's not going to work because it's always going to take at least 8 cells. So that cell, and I'll just put it in purple, is always in. Likewise, that cell's always in, and that cell's always in. So we have sort of a weird collection of cells that are always in, owing to that. Now, note, none of this assumes that all the cells are all the sums are 2 cells. But in fact, actually, you can prove all the sums have to be 2 cells because, hey, Jay, how are you doing? Because I can't fit a 3-cell 10 sum and 2 2-cell 10 sums. And I certainly can't fit a 4-cell 10 sum and 2 2-cell 10 sums. So I have to have exactly 3 2-cell 10 sums up here, but there's a lot of sort of wiggle room in how exactly those things are set up. But the next thing I wanted to reward that, oh, why is that hanging off the edge of the screen? Don't like that. Let's see. I'm going to use, going to add an extra, oh no. And now all of Tristan's. Oh, we could have. Sorry, we could have 235. You're right. Sorry, you're completely right. Yeah, we could have 235. All of Tristan's careful work to set up the screen is now ruined. But I think that still works if I do that. Yeah, 235 would be okay. Yeah, it would have to be 235 though. Uh, uh, anyway, this next clue doesn't assume that. Uh, the grid is slightly cut off. Let's see. I can. Oops, that's not the button. Oops. I can zoom out. Yeah, the clue would just have to have a 5 in it. Is the point? Okay, I think this is okay. It looks a little worse, but I need to be able to actually write clues in here. Okay, so well, let's see. Well, we can play around with this and see how much I depended on this. So actually, you're right. This does actually depend on that. Okay, so I have to think about this more carefully. Because the next thing I wanted to do was this, and I wanted the point to be that this was going to force uh, uh, all of that this was going to force all of that because of the fact that otherwise I'd be repeating a digit on a renbon. But I don't think it actually does force that because this could be part of a 3-cell sum if the sum looked like that. And then I think it would be okay. So I think actually the fact that I forgot about the existence of 5, as I so often do, I think is actually. Oh wait, no. Sorry, no. This one can't because it would branch. Right. This one, right. This does actually work here. Okay, well that I really like that actually. Right. So Jay Dyer has noted, yeah, in order for this to be 2 cells, this would need to be that, but the renbons certainly are not allowed to branch, even if that's not clearly spelled out ahead of or above my head. So actually, this does force the thing I wanted, but it's one step more complicated than I thought it was. But that's okay. So this renbon, I think, has to come down at least to here, owing to that. And now these cells can't be on renbon because renbon aren't allowed to touch orthogonally. So have something like that. Okay. The renbon are the J-sums. So the purple cell, these are J-sums for they are the J-sums, is what I had in mind, not separating the J-sums. My original idea for this puzzle was that I was actually going to have like each of these clues sort of be mapped to a different kind of line constraint. And then some of them would just be you have to decide. So like you could have like a region sum line and a renbon or whatever. But I decided to do the simplest version first and just do it with renbon. And then if I like it, then I can do a fancier version. Okay. Now I realize, yes, when you can't use 10 lines, you fill the clues with 10s. It is true, yeah. I do like things that sum to 10. Yeah, I don't think this would be a very interesting thing to do with build your own 10 lines, though. Let's see. So the next thing that I had added in my version was a 7 here. And so this 7 now is to take advantage of the fact that because this renbon can't branch, this digit now just is a 7. note that if we had not made the deduction that this needs to go down 3 cells, we wouldn't know that, because this could be like a like weird Tetris piece kind of thing instead. So we are actually sort of rewarding that deduction by giving this a value of 7. And so that will make this, if we want, a 7. It's possible that's too powerful. We'll sort of allow it. But now these have to be 1, 2, 1, 2. This cell assuredly has to be gray in order to make that work. And now this Renbon has a lot of growing to do, because if it does not, then we've got some issues. So the next clue that I added, as I was doing this, was sort of was an 8 up here. And so and it doesn't have to be an 8 necessarily. This just has to be a less than what. So 3, 4, 5, I guess, is so 3, 4, 5 is 12. So technically this just has to be a less than 12 clue. I might as well write in what I'm actually using. Oops. What is wrong? Oh, I'm in Sudoku mode again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Oh, because I need to be in Sudoku mode to highlight. By the way, just as a style thing, there is an almost 0% chance that I would leave this as a less than 12, unless this becomes a Mathpesto collab. But it's worth leaving myself the flexibility, because I haven't broken the puzzle if I do this. But anyway, the reason for less than 12 is that now this can't come over here at all, because it would be forced, because it's big. Because again, this only has one cell up here, and that cell is, spoiler, an 8 or a 9. And so this Renbon is going to have to grow to be quite large. So if it comes down here, it's going to do this. And note, we've already used the 1 and the 2, so that's not going to work. So that means that this cell is going to have to be part of my Renbon, and is now going to make it so that cell's not part of my Renbon. Now, technically, I have to be slightly careful here, because I am using something else. Oops, I already screwed up my my using something here. I do have to be slightly careful, because I need to make sure that I don't actually leave the possibility that this is just a 1-cell sum. Because if this is a 1-cell sum now, that would be a problem. And I think technically I have still allowed that possibility. If I make this, like, if I make this an 8 or a 9, at least, that would do that. So I do have to be slightly careful about that. Because the digit up here is an 8 or a 9, because I know it's a 2-cell. I know this is a 2-cell 10 sum, because it doesn't have room to be more than that. Okay. Like if I just made it like a 10 or 11 or something, that would do the thing that I want. But I think I tricked myself before, thinking about that if this was an 8, which was what I had before, that this couldn't just be an 8. But I don't think there's a reason why this cell can't just be an 8, right? Hey, Selena, hope you're doing well. Yes, 7 would do it, although 7 is so restricted I feel like 7 isn't quite rewarding you for seeing that you've got a 1, 2 here. Could do 10 or 11. I'll write 10/11 for now. We'll oh, crap. We'll do it. I have to switch to number mode. I would like Penpa way more if you could multi-select in number mode. I don't know why multi-selecting in number mode is not allowed. Because like when I'm talking about stuff, I do that a lot. Renbon are not allowed to branch, correct? Okay, so if I make that a 10/11, it means it definitely can't grow this way. So the line... Oh, and it also means that's not part of the Renbon. So this definitely grows there, which then forces the rest of that at least, and makes this not grow this way. So this grows that way. And I've got that piece at the bottom. And now... so this is an 8 or a 9. So something of that sort. Why was I convinced? Oh, the thing I had before was just nuts. Okay, so my version of this was completely wrong. In my version of this, I filled in that therefore this digit had to be a 3, and then built from there, which is a problem for lots of reasons that I will leave to the audience to figure out. Oops, no. Okay, so we can sort of go from here, thinking about this, or we can rewind as necessary. But that's the basic. Oh, it does. You're right. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's just get rid of this. Oops. Why on earth? Oh, this is because this is what I did in the right. I'm unwinding the wrong version. Oh, and that one's entered in the wrong mode. Wonderful. Okay, I understand now why this is being difficult. Okay, it's because that I entered in setting mode. Oops. Now I'm in the problem. Oh, I have a lot of this entered in setting mode. Oh, all of that was entered in setting mode. Okay. Visibility on. Oops. Okay, so we can keep this at least if we want, although this 7 can be anything if we want. It does not have to be a 7. Like the 7 can be some other number if we like. The point is just whatever number goes here ends up in that cell, and it would be nice if the number was, not a 1 or a 2, for example. And ideally, at least we want it to be big enough that I know the sum ends. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, sorry, not going to be 8 or 9. 8 or 9 will not work. Okay, so we've got that. So if we leave it like that, then these are a 1, 2 pair. And we've got an 8 or a 9 floating around up here. Now, we still have the possibility that one of these sums is 3 cells, right? It would have to look very specific, but we could still do like 4, 6, 2, 3, 5, 1, 9 would still work fine. Let's see. Okay, so this certainly has... Yeah, so this Renbon is sort of like max size because of that. Uh, uh, yeah, all of these Renbon are going to need fives uh, because of the fact that they're involved in 10 sums. And so they all contain something bigger than 5 and less than 5. Uh, let's see. I'm not so enthusiastic about the 7 now. I wonder if I want to do something else. Let's see. Let's undo that part. We'll go back and oops. There we go. Okay. We'll go back to that. Yeah, the hey, it's Avocado. How are you doing? I hope you have been well. Uh, I admit I sort of like flipped a coin in my brain to decide whether to stream making this puzzle or stream more Animal Well, because I did enjoy playing Animal Well yesterday. Uh, but I decided since I didn't do Sudoku yesterday, I would do some Sudoku for you today, even if the doing Sudoku constitutes me staring at this grid and trying to make it do the things that I want it to do. Let's see. So I guess I know this digit isn't super large. I don't know that that's super exciting. The only way, by the way, that you can make a 3-cell Renbon out of any of these is to make them 4, 5, 6, I think. I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty burnt out because it's the end of the semester, but it's the end of the semester, so I am happy to do that. This week I just have to give finals and I suppose grade the finals at some point, but there's not a lot of pressure, in fact, in giving finals and grading finals. So my brain is starting to slowly seep back into reality. Yeah, the possibility of something like this is cool. Or something like this, or whatever version of this you want. However, in my world where I did this wrong, it was completely broken because this Renbon couldn't have a 7 on it. But yeah, I don't hate the possibility of doing something that would force something like that. Let's see. But yeah, I kind of want to sort of like bully these a little bit more in some way or another. I don't think I know at this point that this isn't 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly, right? I don't think I know that. So I think it's currently possible that this runs down like this. Also of note, I suppose I could really write. I haven't used anything about these other than that they're at least 10. So if I want, so far, that one I've used is 10. These two could be anything. And it would be acceptable. I don't know. Well, I swallowed a coin when I was very young, so it might have made its way to my brain in that capacity. But I'm not sure I can strictly recommend it. As these things go. Okay, so I can fill that in and sort of start to force stuff. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking back at Jay's previous comment that a 10 plus clue in row 4 forces the Renbon to grow right. Do we really mean row 4? You also would not recommend the swallowing of the coin? You'd want to force the renbod to be 3 cells in column 2 first. Okay. Got it. Okay, yeah. So like anything here that is like 5, 6, or 7. Okay, let's try that. So this could be 5, 6, or 7. All of those are possible because all of those force that this renbond can't continue here. And so then Jay's idea was now put a greater than 10 here, or I guess greater than 9 technically. Double checking that I have not screwed up my solution yet. And so that grays this, which then forces this over this way. Which is interesting. Because this is all because of the fact that this renbon has to be at least long enough to cannot not be 4 long, or sorry, 5 long, which is what it would be if it stopped here. I suppose I should double check whatever number I actually end up putting here that it can't really be 5 long, but it's probably true. Let's see. So now anytime this dips down here, it becomes interesting. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's a way that I could make it so that this could not be part of this clue by sort of using the fact that if I make this, say, a 7, then this is 7, 1, 2. And then, so anything down here would be at least, I guess, 3, 4 is not that large of a clue, all things considered. Let's see. What else can I do that would be weird? I mean, I guess it's technically still possible that these join like that, which would be... Oh, no, sorry. That like that, it would have to be. Oh, no, sorry. It is not possible. That is too many cells. That is 10 cells. 10 is too many. Hey, MusicCuber. Hope you're doing well. I can count to 10 sometimes and realize that that is not actually possible. Oh, this 5, 6, 7 really, by the way, should be over here if I am sort of setting it up so that I can do something else. Let's see. What can I do here that sort of makes life interesting? Yeah, I would like it, I suppose, if I let's still force that this goes that way, because if this goes this way, it gives me a lot more sort of geometric control over what's happening. Let's see. Is there some clever way to force this to go this way instead of that way? Like, for example, I could make this a 6. Oops. Make this a 6, which forces, 6, 1, 3. And so now if I put an 8 up here, for example, back over here. If I put an 8 up here, for example, now that digit's definitely not an 8. If it were a digit, it would have to be a 7 or a 9. uh, because of the fact that it needs to add to 10 with a 1 or a 3. So that at least does some sort of forcing where it at least sort of feels like you're using your deductions to sort of continue forcing this. I think so. Something like that would force all of this gray over here now. Oh, and I know that's not gray for sure as well, because that would be a Renbon branching. So if I did something like that, I think that would in principle work out for sort of forcing all of this stuff. Yeah, so this is 7 or 9 for sure. And so if this is a 9, that's a 1, and this Renbon is sort of maximum possible length, which would be interesting. Let's see. So I guess that is a 1 or a 3. Do I know anything about this digit? Not super much. I do know all of these Renbon need a 5 because both of these have one high and one low digit. So every Renbon that starts in this row needs a 5, so they need to do that. We should absolutely specify that Renbon don't branch in the version of the rules that I didn't write quickly. There's definitely not a specific image. It's not going to make a picture. It is just going to hopefully be an interesting puzzle. Fingers crossed. Let's see. So now I guess we can do something like we can reward the fact that this went over here. So like if we want to talk about things that are incredibly forcing, one thing we could try as a sort of reward here is put a 5 clue here. Because now we sure know this isn't a single digit 5. And so we can sort of come down over here. And assuredly it's not a double digit 5. Or sorry, assuredly it's not a triple digit 5. 2 segments in row 1 can become the same Renbon. That is allowed. This one couldn't just by principles of the rule so far, but we have that. So these are from 2, 3, 4. Of course, this is from 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and so this Renbon has not yet found a 5, so it must continue. And now we get to, I suppose, ask ourselves if we know that these two Renbon don't merge yet. Or if we know that they have to merge or some such thing like that. So let's see. If they do merge, definitely there's a 6 on them, and the 6 would be in one of these two wings. Oh yeah, it could be a ... or something, but row 2 will definitely have another. It will have either a clue or an indication that there is more interesting things to happen. Let's see. Or alternatively, of course, we could force them to merge if that was the interesting thing. That would work just as well. Uh, let's see. I'm sort of contemplating what happens in the world where these two merge and whether I think that is the more interesting world or not. Uh, if they merge, then the Renbon is definitely done for what it's worth. Let's see. Hmm. The 4 clue in column 8. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, so that will sort of force the 4-6 there because Jay's point is if there's a 4 clue here, if these merge, these would be a 1-3 pair, and that would break the 5. Could also, I suppose, put a 6 here, but that feels a little heavy-handed. If they merge, then they definitely don't have a 1-9 pair in them. That is true. So if they merge, these would have to be the numbers 2 through 8, which would make these 2, 3, for example, in the merged world, right? Actually, do they have to be 2 through 8? Maybe these could be. It certainly means neither of the 10 sums is 1-9, but I guess these could be 3, 7, and 4, 6. And if these are 3, 7, and 4, 6, that's okay, I think. Let's see. We still have this 8 hanging out over here, and we have a greater than 9 hanging out over here. The 1-9 could still live like in these two cells if it doesn't live there, right? Like these could be the 1-9 pair in the row, if not there. That or even this could be the 9 and one of these could be the 1 in theory. Yeah, I'm sort of assuming the rest of this row is going to be a ... so that it doesn't give that away, but the rest of this row could surely force this merger. But I think that would be a little. I think cluing this row and saying that there are two things is a little too blatant. I suppose we could just literally say question mark. If you if we just want to specify that these don't merge. Actually, do I know for 100% certain that this Renbon doesn't do this? Because if this Renbon did this, then that would still fit the question mark. Or I guess what I really mean, I really mean star, I suppose. I don't know how to make an asterisk in Penpa. But I really want this to be a star, not a question mark. It was because I was in Sudoku mode and not number mode. But yeah, I think we'd want something like that. Star is usually the agreed upon symbol for there's a clue here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, anything about it. Question mark usually means it's a one cell sum or sorry, a 1-digit sum. But yeah, the weirdo one that looks like that, certainly that would make this a 7-3. And so we would need to get 4, 5, or sorry, we need to get 4 and 5 in these cells, but I don't a priori see a reason why that can't happen. Which is a little bit, yeah, ... means I'm not even telling you how many clues there are. I'm certainly very open to ... But if I don't want to specify what happens here, then yeah, ... oops, sorry, I'm back in Sudoku mode. ... means there are some number of clues, at least 0, but any number over there. I have no idea what Saturnalia is, Isaiah. Let's see. Big 9 by 9 by 9 by 9. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think it's very likely. Not that I haven't done crazy stuff in the past, but I think it's unlikely that I'm going to go down that that hole. Let's see. Of course, I could do anything that would sort of force this down. But I don't know if anything would force this down in an interesting way. 5 or 2, 4. Okay, so I'm trying to think in the world where they do merge, you know anything that's interesting? The only reason I don't want to use a 10 clue here is because we already did that trick at the beginning of the puzzle, and it feels like it's repeating ourselves a bit too much for my taste. But yeah, in general, Isaiah, if the pitch of a puzzle is this puzzle is an immense amount of suffering, it is not an appealing reason for me to do something. And that is the pitch I'm hearing for this puzzle. Oh yeah, question mark clues are always great. I suppose I could just do a double question mark here. That would be the this way. This means, by the way, that it's a 2-digit sum, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. This way, the geometry requires that we have got that this cell is purple, and now we know that, in fact, the purple comes here, which means the gray comes here. And now we can contemplate how far this has to go, because I don't think that this goes here. I do like Math Pesto puzzles, but a 9 by 9 by 9 is probably not going to be on my to-do list. Let's see. I don't think this can possibly finish in one cell, because I need a number that's at least 6 and a number that's at most 2. And that's 5 cells already. So this certainly needs to go down one further. And that is interesting. Now, if this doesn't continue, it has to be 4, 5, 6. Like if this is actually 3 cells, it would be 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and I will do 6 by 6 by 6s. I like 6 by 6 by 6s. I won't do all of them by any means, but that is a thing that I will do. If this cell is not part of a clue now, it forces a whole lot because both of these need a 5, and so it would force this to come over here like that. Let's see. Yeah, so like we could certainly do like a clue at the end of row 3 to do something. Yep, I agree, Sayori. Yeah, if this Renbon is 3 cells, it has to be 4, 5, 6. Uh, uh, let's see. Okay, so here's a clue that will force that, I believe. Now in all circumstances. Oh no, this still allows the possibility that what happens is that this comes down. So there's a slight philosophical difference, Vish, but there's not an actual lived difference. The philosophical difference is that I never intend to put a number here, whereas I intend to put a number here. I just don't know what number I intend to put here. Oh God, Rank Solver has been just going this whole time trying to check whether this thing is actually unique. I know I talked at some point to Ranks about the difficulty of providing like a progress bar to say like what % done the solver is, because it's really hard to know. Like effectively, if you have a really good sense of what % done the solver is, then you basically have to have already answered the question how many solutions it has in some weird way. So that, yeah, you can have some where it runs forever and it's like, is it about to finish? Or is it never going to finish? Okay, so the reason I liked this is because it makes it so this certainly can't be a single cell 6 sum because of the fact that this would be 4, 5, 6. But I think it's possible that this cell is a single 6, and then we get some sort of like weird sort of like both of these sort of chasing each other down kind of thing. Which is not, I think, what I want. Let's see. Is there a way I can differentiate between those two? Because I would like to reward the deduction that if this doesn't continue, it's 4, 5, 6. It's a little tricky to say that like one of these continues. Actually, here's a really interesting thought. If this is 4, 5, 6, where does this domino go in this box? Because if this actually does do that, now this domino goes exactly here and here. All right, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think it has to be purple because I think this could be a 2-cell sum is I think what could happen. But I'm trying to find the way to sort of reward the fact that if this is 3 cells, it's 4, 5, 6. But I am noticing now that if this goes here, it really does sort of string in. Because if this goes here, now those 2 cells exactly have to be these 2 cells because those cells don't appear on this Renbon in that universe. Like I could just put a question mark at the end of this row, but it's not super interesting because it then sort of is so blunt. It's a little too blunt for my tastes to then say that works out. But I think the more interesting world is the world where this purple does go right. So I would like to force this purple to go right. I just don't have a way that I'm super happy with to make it go right yet. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out is like what clue can I use? And so I was trying to figure out, okay, so what can I do to make this 4, 5, 6 given that? The purples already can't connect because if they connect, they're going to be 10 cells. So I don't want the purples to connect. That is I suppose part of the premise here. Could put like a 1 cell sum here, I guess. And say so let's see. If this is a 1 cell sum, can it possibly go down? I think it can. Uh, 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 hmm. The 4, 5, 6 thing is so alluring to me as a thing to play on. Yeah, if we do a single digit clue here. So okay, so that's interesting. So let's convince ourselves that a playmaker's point that if this is a single digit, we can't extend down. We would definitely have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple and a 5. So the only way that this could extend why is it can't extend down? Right. Okay, right. There we go. Okay, I see it. Yeah. So the right. These would be 5 different digits. Okay, I like that a lot. That is very nice. Okay. So yeah, so this actually does force that this doesn't go down because these 5 cells would sum to a minimum of 15 and they can't. So that is a very nice way of doing that. And so now yeah, I like the fact that Renbon can't repeat keeps showing up in here. So now we definitely need to make sure both of these Renbon get a 5. Neither of them has a 5 yet. So one of them leaves the box. And now it is a question of which one is it that leaves the box. So it is either this one continues like that and then down, which is one possibility, or that this one continues out of the box. Oh, this is at least 6 cells long anyway? Is that true? Let's see. So if it's not at least 6 cells, certainly this would be 2, 3. But yeah, as soon as this, right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this certainly can't be 5 cells long. I was thinking, oh, this could be 2 through 6, but this can't be 2 through 6, uh, because that would put a 2 or a 3 here, and the 2 or the 3 goes with a 7 or 8. So yeah, so this is forced to go down here, which does end that, which does make this 4, 5, 6. Make that a 5. Oops, sorry, a 5. And now, now this Renbon needs to keep going, and it doesn't have much further it can go. Uh, but yeah, this needs to keep going, and it needs to have this force 6 on it. And yeah, of course this is a 6 and a 4. But I'm just trying to understand whether this is this has broken this Renbon or not, because this Renbon needs all of 4, 5, and 6 on it. I guess that could be the 4 still, for what it's worth. Well, the greater than 9 clue could be over here. The greater than 9 in row 4 is not relevant at the moment. But that could be the 4. Is the interesting thing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this cell absolutely cannot be purple. Because if this cell is purple, then the line can do that at most. But now it's 9 cells and it does not have a 5 on it anywhere. So that cell is not emphatically not purple, which means this cell is purple in this universe. By the way, this is not 1, just for the record. Okay, so now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Row 4, column 8 could have been the 5, right? Oops, you're right. I think I screwed that up. I think, yeah, so if it goes here... it needs a 5 and a 6, though. And so the 5 and the 6 wouldn't work. Yeah, the 5 and the 6 are missing, so it still doesn't work. Good eye, though. So this does still have to come here, at least. Could be this Renbon still in row 4. That's going to end up being there somewhere. Okay. These numbers have to be like almost certainly these two numbers are from 1, 2, 3, unless one of them is like a 7 or an 8. This is quite restricted, actually. If you look at it, I think this really wants to be a 4. But I think it doesn't technically have to be. The 4 could go here, Sweet Blues, which is actually what I kind of want, is for that to have to be the 4. Because I think if that has to be the 4, I think that creates an interesting thing. The clues in the outside are currently incomplete because the puzzle's incomplete. They'll be complete in the finished version of the puzzle, presumably. Yeah, that is okay. So you're saying it's always length 9. Got it. Yeah, I agree. It's always going to be length 9. Uh, Yes, Laura, except funnily enough, then the Renbon doesn't end, because then this is a 4, and that makes this a 1-9. So that is interesting. Can that be the end of the Renbon? If so, then these become a 5-6 pair, I guess. I certainly need one of 1, 2, 3 here. Uh, Interestingly enough. Possibly both. It is true that these 2 digits go here and here. I don't know I don't know that I can do anything interesting with that, but it's true. I can just put a second double question mark here, which would stop this from going right, I guess. But I guess I don't even really care if it goes right, do I? I guess I want it to go down, because if it goes down, then it forces that. Uh, uh, oh wow, yeah, okay, yeah. So oh, but it doesn't do anything, because this could still be the 4. Because I still want to force this to be the 4, because I want the puzzle to eventually resolve. Uh, and I think that's the highest chance. Uh, uh, yeah, these are uh, uh, yeah, that's yeah. If I make this this is Eckbert's point. If I make this a double digit, uh, then it grays that cell, and it makes it forces this to be big, which then sort of forces this to be small, uh, which is all kind of interesting. Uh, let's see. It's easy enough to force it that way. Yeah, this certainly is one. I've removed one from this cell before, but then I keep undoing stuff, and then it comes back. Uh, 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 let's see. Yeah, let's see. Row 4, 5, column 8. Uh, let's see. So Right. Okay. That is interesting. Okay. So that's a good idea of Playmaker wants to just use a clue to rule out the possibility that these are a 5-6 pair. Because if the 4 goes anywhere else, it immediately makes these two a 5-6 pair. Uh yeah, it is at risk of bypassing a thing. That is certainly true. Uh let's see. The uh unlikely Sayori. Uh let's see. Uh 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 if there's a virtual 1-3 pair, uh although it could be the same 1-3, right? If that's a 3, that could be a 3, right? Sweet Blues. Let's see. So, yeah, is there an interesting way to rule out these two are 5-6? That is still an interesting question to me. Uh, and we have this Renbon over here that still needs a 5, by the way. Uh, uh, and so we do have to be sort of mindful of that, although it could still get its 5 here for what it's worth. Uh, would actually be kind of cute if this did come up and do that. I think that would be okay. Uh, hmm. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know anything about this number, do I? Uh, oh, right. This is in row 1 up here, so these two can't be the same. Yeah, I do not want to use that, but I agree. I don't want to use it though. Uh, 10 in column 3 would prevent this being a 5 because uh, that it would. Which is interesting. Let's see. This greater than 9 clue. I'm curious if we can say anything about it yet in terms of this, because this Renbon is still at least. What is the shortest it could be? I guess it is. It is a minimum of 7 long. But that is 7. But it still has a 2 and a 4 on it. I'm trying to decide if this Renbon has to enter row 4 or not in order to finish. And the fact that it needs a 2 and a 4 would be a little touchy with this 5 clue, but the one of the 2 and the 4 could go there still. Uh, uh, and that would be the 5, or sorry, one of these would be the 5. Uh, yeah, and of course, if that does that, then it forces this to be a 2-cell Renbon. Or sorry, not it doesn't have to be a 2-cell Renbon. It has to be 2 cells of Renbon. Nicholas says the circle doesn't work. Why doesn't the circle work? Let's see. let's see. Vish says 21 or higher would force the Renbon to go down. Because these three can't get to 21 on their own. Yeah, that might be a little blunt. Let's see. I do know there's a 6 corner marked here. Maybe I should use that. I don't know how I would use that, but it is worth noting. Yeah, these two. It's a little tricky to use the fact that these cells are gray. Like the fact that these two cells are there isn't immediately super useful. I mean, I guess it does sort of stop this purple from coming all. Well, I guess it means if the purple comes all the way over here, it makes that a 6. Is again not the most stimulating thing. Let's see. Yeah, the 5 in this box is certainly in one of these places. Of course, it wants to be here. Earlier, AFK was suggesting, oh, we could make this go down, and then, like, if I make this a 10, I force this to go down, and then probably turn right. Yeah, so let's see. Let's try that. I was thinking it was maybe a little blunt earlier, but let's try it and see if it happens. See what happens. So and then we'll try Jay's clue after that. So the point is here, of course. Sorry, that was not meant to be there. It was meant to be up here. Sadly, I cannot give you a link because it is a work in progress. So that goes down, but not further because the minimum sum of these cells will be 2, 4, 5, which is too many. So this would stop going down, would turn there. That would be gray. This would become gray. And this would not be the 5, so one of these would presumably be the 5. Hey, I wasn't the one who suggested the 10. I take no responsibility for the 10. For that 10. So that's sort of like one possibility. Can't be 2, 3, 5 because there's already a 3 on the Renbon, Nicholas. That forces a 2-8 pair. I also liked the idea of Jay's suggestion of putting a 6 clue at the end here, which would make this either be 6 or sum to 6 with that. But that's really tricky with the 5 sum up there. Oh, 2-8's the only way left. Right. So yeah, so this would in fact be 2-8, right? Because we've used the 1, the 3, and the 6. So these would be 2-8 in this universe. I have been... Okay, just making sure I actually wrote my clue in the right layer. Okay, and so this Renbon still needs 4, 5, and 6. No, sorry, it still needs 4 and 5. Not 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, let's try the 4 clue and see what that does. So putting a 4 clue here. Sorry, a 6 clue here. Not a 46 clue, a 6 clue here. Uh, so let me understand what this is. So this is part of a sum to 6. Why couldn't this just be a 6? Night, Nicholas. Sleep well. Or is the point that if it is a 6, it still puts the 4 over here because the line then goes down, or the line goes this way. Okay, yeah, okay, I like that a lot actually. Yeah. So the point is, if this is a single cell 6, then the line goes down, and then there's still, this is the only place for a 4, or it goes left or right. Can't be 3 cells, of course, because that would break this, but even a 2-cell version would be 1 5. So not 2 4, because 2 4 would break this. Okay, sneaky, but I like it. So let's see what that does. So that does force this to be a 4, which forces that to be a 1, which makes that a 9, makes that a 7 and a 3. Not that one. No, wrong button. There we go. That one a 3, that one a 1. Now, yeah, now it can't be 1 5 either. So now this is a 6, and those are both gray. Purple goes down, and that is the 10th cell, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yep. So we can throw grays all over there. We know one of these two is a 5. In order to make that work. We know that these, oh, actually, that's the 9, because that's the 1, right? We can place our digits. That's the 1. That's the 9 over in this box. Let's see. Let's see, what is left in this box? Let me just write it in. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the only way that this isn't a 2 3 pair is if it is 2 7 exactly. So as Sayori says, it always has a 2, never has an 8. So that's not a 2, and that's not a 2. So yeah, it's 2 3 or 2 7. Those are the two options for that. Right. So that is an 8 because there's a 3 7 looking at it. Thank you. Okay, so the fact that that I couldn't put an 8 in here was not actually super exciting because there is a 3 7 there always. So these are a 2 3 7 actually, and if those are a 2 3 7, that tells me what these are. Namely, these are a 5 and an 8. Okay. So let's see what else is left in row 1. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 and 5 are left in row 1, right? This Renbon's also length 9, funnily enough. Oh, sorry, it doesn't have to be length 9. We don't know if it has a 9 on it or anything. But we know it needs this digit on it. For sure. Okay, this no longer can be purple. Let's double check that this no longer can be purple. Because if this was purple, these would have to be 2, 4, 5. Right. And this can't be from this can't be from right. This can't be from 2, 4, 5 because it would create a quadruple of 2, 4, and 5 over in this box. So right. So that now is no longer purple. Uh, uh, oh, right. Okay. So Eckbert's point is maybe an even more elegant way to see it, which is that this appears on the Renbon, which I had processed, but I didn't understand why it was significant. But it definitely rules out that possibility. Uh, uh, Now, the fact that this has turned out to be a 1 makes it appealing to write something here that uses the fact that this has to be a 1 in order to force this digit or force this this Renbon to go this way. But like for example, if I make this 11, I think it will force these to be a 2, 8 exactly. But I don't know how interesting that is. Hey Jace, how are you doing? Add another 10 clue. Is that even possible? Let's see. So yeah, it couldn't be 1, 9 anymore because of Sudoku. So these would have to be 4, 5, I guess, exactly. I do love 10 clues. It's nice when there's a theme. We can try adding a 10 clue. Why not? Oops. Oh, right. Number mode. 10 clue. Not a 40 clue. 10 clue. No, not a 1 period clue either. Okay, so yeah, so the point now is that 9 there is preventing this from adding to 10. And I certainly can't have these be 2, 3, 4. That would be a problem. Find someone who looks at you the way zetamath looks at 10 sums or something. So this needs to be 4, 5. It's the only option that will work sudokulogically. So that is the 5, and that's the 4. So that's the 2, and that's the 5. Let's see. Okay, and this Renbon assuredly has to continue now, right? Because it doesn't have a 2 on it yet. So in fact, it's going to have to continue a good bit because it's not even going to get a 2 in its next cell, actually. How many cells is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's got 2 more cells. I have a feeling I intended to delete this clue and didn't. I think I had a, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think this clue is doing anything, is I think the answer. But I'm not sure. We'll just delete it. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so what can this cell possibly even be? Can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This can only be 8 or 9. In fact, actually. Let's see. One of these two is still 6. Let's see. I was going to look at Sudoku in this box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's not a 9. Has to continue right because of the greater than 9 clue. Right. We used that earlier. Right. Okay. It's a little disappointing, actually, that it can't go down. We even know, like, Sudoku-wise, it can't go down. But what are you going to do? A little unfortunate. Okay. Let's see. And so this is a 2 or an 8 only, for what it is worth. Uh, let's see. Okay, and what is left in this box, real quick? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I know those aren't 6. Do I know anything else? I don't think I do. Uh, I know that 3, 7 is up here. Okay, so if this comes down 1, that's a 9. If this goes over 1, these are a 2, 8, 9 triple. Yeah, we probably want some more Renbon in the puzzle at some point. That sounds like a good thing to have in your Renbon puzzle. See, I was just looking to see if I could do anything with this sort of 5 8s or whatever. Funnily enough, I can make this another 10. And resolve a bunch of stuff. Although making it an 11, I suppose, resolves more. For what it is worth. Let's see. Yeah, we could sort of just, if we just stop this from being able to be I mean, one clue would just be to make a double cell clue here, right? That would stop it from being a 9 cell. Oh no, sorry, that doesn't quite stop it from being a 9 cell Renbon because it could go there instead. Darn it, this one has sort of 2 escape hatches that it can take to be a thing. But yeah, it would be more interesting if this worked out to be an 8 cell Renbon, I think. Yeah, making the greater than 9 a 10 will do it. I agree with that. Let's see. Well, here's an interesting thing. I can put a double-digit clue in this row. And that does it, I think. Provided I put a double-digit clue in this row and nothing else. Because if I put a double-digit clue in this row and nothing else, it certainly can't show up over here. Oh, I guess this still allows the possibility of that being one, though. So we need to do double-digit clue there and double-digit clue here. If I do both, that will do it. Well, we can try it. No reason we can't try it. It may break quickly. But this way it can't extend that way and can't extend that way. So it makes this go gray, gray, and it certainly makes there be a purple cell here. And now this is certainly a 2 and an 8 in order to make this work. Oops. 2 and 8, which makes that 5 and 8. It is true, actually. I'm kind of I like Vish's point, which is that I don't have to even do that. Just that clue alone does tell me that this cell is gray. Let me double check that I'm writing on the right grid. So far, so good. Does make this cell gray, because otherwise I'd make a 10 cell Renbon. And that does corner mark 8 into this row, and 2 for that matter. And so that does make this a 5 and this an 8. And of course, that's gray as well because of the double digit sum. And so that is purple. If we want to do anything with that, like put in an extra 10 clue or something. And so we have all of that. And so now there's still this possibility of this being part of the Renbon, but regardless of whether it is or not, we still get that, which is a very good observation from Vish there. I like that a lot. And we still have this 8 hanging over in this column that I assume we used at some point. Maybe possibly. That would do interesting things if this comes here. Let's see. I do know that there's an 8 actually somewhere in this row, speaking of 8s. It's true. It's not 3-5 or 1-2-5. Whatever the 8 is, that is a good point from Sayori. We can actually figure out there's a few things it can't be. I had pulled up Ranks Solver in case I wanted to like type this in or like punch this in and make sure it has solutions. I assume it does, but I might as well. I'm just going to bounce back and forth between these and type this in real quick. 537 9. Oops, 9. Sorry, 291846. 6 there. 4 there, 5 there. 1 4 5 there. Oops. 1 1 4 5 there. Thank you. And 5 6 8 down the middle of this box. Okay, and we've got our, oops, better hit connect before I destroy the world. Renbon there. So, oh, the 4 in row 2 is in the wrong column. Oops, thank you. Good catch. And we've got this Renbon. That Renbon was wrong? Oh, you're right. It is wrong. It was that, wasn't it? We've got that one I can draw in, although it doesn't do anything. There's that one. I am so excited for the thing, AFK. You will not believe how excited I am to have the version that does some of this. Let's see, solution count, just in case there's anything interesting. Okay. So there's that version. And remember, we also have the version where we also have the version where this extends more. So we could also, instead of having that Renbon, we could have that Renbon. So I mean, embedding the existing scripts will already be such a huge boon for me when I'm teaching the class. Because when I'm teaching the class, I can't have anyone install anything in Tamper Monkey. And so it's just an absolute nightmare. So I'm very excited to have access to some more of the stuff. Like the less I have to talk about software when I talk about Sudoku, the better. Anyway, it looks like we're okay. Of course, it still got things like that. These two sum to a single digit number, that kind of thing. I guess I could have filled in the 1 and the 9 over there, but whatever. Uh, anyway, uh, 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 okay. So is there a thing uh, that we can do here? I mean, assuredly, there's a thing that we can do. Let's see. We know we've got a 5 and a 6 down here. Which is sort of starting to suggest could maybe do something interesting with those corner marks. Do we have any other interesting Sudoku corner marks that we can start to use? Got an 8 down over here. Let's see. So I guess a kind of cute thing to do would be to put a 7 clue in this column, because the 7 clue... Oh, I guess it could be a 1 cell 7. Never mind. I was going to think there's only one way to do it. But no, it can't be a 3 cell 7. But oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of ... clues. I guess there's already implicitly a ... clue here. Just for fun. Let's see. And we've got this Renbon has sort of started here, so we could grow it vertically if we were so inclined. Just write a 45 here. Put another 10 in column 2. That is cute, Vish. I'm happy to add another 10 clue to the puzzle. So Vish's point is we know that this can't continue further because that would be 2 3 cell 10 sums, and there aren't any. So that would force this to be a 2 cell 10 sum, and so this would have to be a 4 5 6, which would make these cells a 4 5 pair in order to make that work. Oh no, that's just broken. Sorry, that breaks because there's no place for a 6 on it. Oh no, oh no, sorry, it can zig. Sorry, yeah, it can zig. Sorry, it doesn't trap it completely. Sorry, I was thinking it trapped it up here, but it doesn't trap it up here. It can still escape in a couple different directions. Okay, but yeah, this would have to be 8-2. Or zag. That's true. Or zag. Okay, and one of these will also be a thing. So it's going to either run off this way. Sadly, that still leaves the possibility that it runs off this way and we get a 1 3 4 over here for the 8. Which is a little bit tragic. Or alternatively, it just runs off the other way. Maybe I actually want it to be the 1 3 4 version. Because the 1 3 4 version is actually pretty cool, pretty cute if you think about it. I don't know that it's not broken. I do agree that there's a 2 here. Renbon can't branch, correct? I attempted to write the rules kind of in like 6 seconds, so I did not put the care into writing them that I will put into writing them when I actually go to like publish it. Ah, right. This cell assuredly is not purple. I 100% endorse that message. Uh, and so if that cell can't be purple, then this cell definitely is purple. And it's not a 1, fun fact. Uh, so it actually forces it. It forces the crazy Renbon. Uh, because of the fact of that. So yeah, so Garion is right. So now we've actually forced the 134 thing. So it's either broken or it's cool. Those are the options. Uh, so let me put a 3-cell killer cage. Uh, Killer cage. There we go. It is these 3 cells. Let's put the 3-cell 8 cage there. And go ahead and fill in the 8 and the 2. Okay, what is the minimum length of this Renbon? The minimum length it can possibly be is 7, 2, 3. It's not 7 long yet, so it definitely goes there. So let's see. Could it oh, it has a 1 and an 8. Oh, right. Because these are 1, 3, 4. Right. I didn't actually write the 1, 3, 4 in because I was doing that. So yeah, it's definitely 8 long. Uh, uh, okay, so these are from 5, 6, 7, 9. That one's certainly not 7 or 6. This one's only 5 or 9. Uh, oh, this one's not 6 either. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, and it's got to get out of this column to get a 6 at all, is Laura's point, which is a good point. Uh, 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 greater than 10 clue in column 3. Yeah, that is possible. Let's see. Let me try drawing in some of these putative Renbon and make sure that some of them have solutions. So, like, it could do something like that. Okay, so there at least are solutions for some of the versions. Just for the record. So it's not broken yet, I don't think. Oh, I missed row 5, column 3, did I? Oops. Okay. Well, fortunately, it still has solutions, even if I draw the Renbon correctly. Okay, and there's sort of multiple options of how this can go. So we're good so far. Okay, yeah, so this Renbon still needs digit stuff. It's funny we still haven't resolved what this Renbon does yet, but that will all get taken care of in time, I suspect. Oh, but that was assuming this particular version of the Renbon. So, if hey Chip, how are you doing? Uh, if I make a single cell thing here, uh, or a single digit sum here, that I think does a lot. Because I certainly can't keep going one more when I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the Renbon already. So maybe I can try something like a question mark here. And that will force that, which forces that. Uh, and now I've got to go over there, and we still need because we still need a 6, and now it is max length, and so that is a 6. Oops, that is a 6. Uh, and this is the last 579. And that digit actually is there in column 2, right? So this is actually a 579 triple in column 2, I believe, right? And so that places this digit here, which is a 4, right? This is the 4 for the column. So that's not a 4. Okay, we can draw in the line in F puzzles just to keep up. And I should just double check if I draw in this line like that, it also has solutions. So this in fact has solutions, I think, either way. So we're not accidentally locked into one of two universes, which is always what I hope to see when I'm setting and I use a piece of setting software. I think the absolute worst thing that you can do in a piece of setting software is see that the computer deduces something and then ask yourself why that's true. And then be like, oh, that's cool, and then use it in your puzzle. What you want to see, or at least what I want to see whenever I use F puzzles, is I want to see that F puzzles can deduce absolutely nothing that I haven't intended. Right. So yeah, so I can mark that is not a 9, for example. So yeah, so whereas 6 in column 1, Vish points out, 6 in column 1 has to be there. And now we're 7 in column 1. 7 in column 1 has to be there. And whereas 9 in column 1, 9 in column 1 has to be there. So Vish has done some serious Sudoku here. Lo and behold, agrees with F puzzles. Okay, and so this isn't. Oh, this is possibly a 4, I suppose. One of these two is certainly a 4. This is a 2 or an 8. These are 2, 8, and something. Sure, 2, 8, and something. That is definitely what is happening here. There's another digit. Oh, 2, 8, and what? And the other 1, 3. Right, that's what it is. It's 2, 8, and the other 1, 3. It's that 1, 3, and then there's a 1, 3 somewhere in this column. Okay. We're getting eerily close to having everything all 4. So okay, there's no 6 there. Let's see, and we probably still need another Renbon at some point to finish this off, but I'm like keeping track of things like maybe we can like use up all the 5s and 6s and then sort of force that the last Renbon is really short or something like that. Because like I know there's a 5 and a 6 here. There's definitely a 6 in this box somewhere in this row. For instance, there's a 7 in one of these 2 cells. Oh yes, everyone loves a clue with a dot dot dot, a number and a dot dot dot. That is everyone's fantasy for one of these puzzles. There are an awful lot of dot dot dots floating around in the real version of this puzzle. Hey Janine Collective, welcome. Glad you can catch a stream. We're trying to make this puzzle work. We've made it further in than I feared we would because it still has solutions, I think. Dot 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 question mark dot dot dot. Yeah, perfect. I mean, at least Playmaker, it's not cryptographic. But yeah, I don't usually like putting numbers in my puzzles, but I really like build your own line puzzles. So I was sort of playing around with this idea, and I kind of want to do the even crazier version after this, where the lines are different and you have to identify what they are, or something like that. Some sort of weird build your, but I really like build your own line kinds of puzzles, which was really the sort of idea that I had here. Let's see, the bottom of this, we've got a 3 or a 7. What is the other digit that's definitely down here? It's a 2, right? There's definitely a 2 here. Oh yeah, the 12 by 12 version where there's only digits on the thing. Yeah, I could imagine doing that. I did not see the 5 by 5 prime killer. Could break the puzzle in half by putting an 11 a clue at the bottom of this column. I kind of feel like I want a clue at the bottom of this column to do something, but I don't quite know what yet. So yeah, these 2 are things. Let's see. Okay, one of these is an 8. No, that is not true. Don't listen to me. I was about to corner mark 8 in a box that already had an 8. Let's see. That is true. If I put another 10 in this column, it will resolve all of these. And then we'll have to deal with a Renbon here that's going to need a 5, for example. That is not a bad idea. Let's try it. We can write it in, see what happens, see if it inspires us. So we'll fill in the 10 there. So that's going to gray this. And now that that's gray, now there can't be a 9 on this because there needs to be both a 2 and an 8. And so that's the 8. That's the 2. That's the 9. Does this have to be a 9? No, this doesn't have to be a 9 now. Right? Yeah, that does not have to be. I don't think that's not an 8 anymore. Yeah, so we've got this version of the world. So that already aligns. So that place. No, sorry, I was going to say that places an 8 here. Boy, my scanning is suddenly in quotes getting bad. Yeah, these are each from 1359. The 5 here is definitely in one of these 2 cells, I suppose. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to decide if I can say anything interesting about this 10. And it could be a 3-cell 10 with a 235, which would be the thing that I think would tickle me the most. Oh yeah, the greater than 9 I think has just become a question mark at this point. I think in the because all we ended up using was question mark. I was leaving it there because I thought it was going to turn out we were going to want to fill in a value, but I think I think we just needed that it was a 2-digit sum. Although if we wanted on theme, we could just make it another 10 just because it happens to be a 10. So we could just write 10 in there just for fun. Yeah, I kind of like the version where there's a 2, 3, 5, 4 kind of Renbon here somewhere. Trying to decide how to force it to not be, because if it's a 2-cell 10, well, if it's 2-cell 10, it could be 2, 8, in which case it's down here somewhere. Or 3, 7, in which case then I think it can be anywhere because I don't think we have very many 3s or 7s. There definitely is a 2 down here for what it's worth just by Sudoku. I'm thinking about like putting something that would force a double-digit clue in here, because this clue is certainly not double digits. That clue is not double digits. So if you force a double-digit clue in this row, then it certainly forces that to be in. So like, what if we just put a 10 in this row somewhere and put a dot 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 10 dot 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 in here, because I think that's pretty interesting, because we certainly need this to be purple for sure. Now I was trying to convince myself that for sure this couldn't go this way and have a separate one over here. Yeah, it's certainly not 3 cells. That would be a big problem with these. But I'm trying to make sure that this can't go over this way and have something like this go over this way, which seems possible. Which is a little worrying. Okay. If it comes this way, is it ever getting a 5? Is I guess the question. If it comes this way, it hasn't gotten a 5 yet, so it has to come back here. So, funnily enough, this Renbon definitely has this 10 sum on it, no matter what. Because it either goes this way, which would be the same thing for it to do, or it goes this way, which would be the less sane thing for it to do. But because this Renbon needs a 5, if it goes this way, it has no choice but to come back and eventually nab this 2-cell sum. Yeah, I want the less sane version. I'm curious now. Let's see if I can remember what that looked like. That looked like oops, not that. that look like that, with me needing a X here and an X here. Well, good news. I know what the solution to the puzzle is going to be. So we want to force that, because how could you not force that? I'm not missing any of the relevant clues, right? I don't think I have any clues that are broken by that. Oh, I do. That breaks that clue. Dang you, row 8 single digit clue. Horrible. How dare you? Let's see. Would it have been sufficient if I'd have just written a 10 here? I don't remember what we used this to do. Oops. I think the question mark was meant to be referring to these two. I don't remember if a 10 would have been enough. I think I'd have to go back to see exactly what the candidates were to see if I made this a 10, if it would have still forced the Renbon to go down. I don't honestly remember what was the case. If someone wants to be a saint and go back and look at it, they could. 1 second. I was muted. Oops. There we go. So I did actually successfully hit the sneeze button. I just also teleported into a different screen. Well, I mean, we'll call that like a C for me. What Renbon could still go further right? Oh, this one. We can. That's right. We can probably tweak this Renbon to do that instead. Okay, that doesn't matter. Oops. Ah! There we go. Okay. Or the new Renbon could do that. Aha! So this does still work. We just need this Renbon to go further. Right. Okay. So this does still have solutions. Nice. Okay. A little unfortunate that none of the solutions seem to be. I guess this one will probably be fine. I'll be able to just replace this question mark with a number probably, or something like that. Okay. So we need to force this to go left and not right. How do we force it to not go right? Is the question. Because that will be very helpful. I'm trying to decide if there is a given digit in the world that will force this. I love that this basically unclude Renbon is going to have this The world where Zeta is on two screens at once. More Zeta. There can always be more Zeta. Okay, so I guess the question is, what does it look like if it does go this way? So if it does go this way, assuredly then it is 3 cells here. And what would the 3 cells be? It would have to be 2, 3, 5. So yeah, so this would be a 2, 3, 5. That would be a 7. 7, 3, right? Thank you, Chip. I was really happy with Simon's solve of Zag in particular. Simon really hit all the points that I wanted, including the really bizarre one that just made me like die laughing at the end there. Yeah, so how on earth are we ruling out this world in a sane way? Involves uh the 343. The 343 was just so I was really not expecting that Simon would do it exactly that way. It was amazing. Clearly this puzzle needs a 343 moment. Oh yeah, we're definitely living in a simulation. There's no way. I was debating if there's a way I could put a 2-cell sum here to block that 3-cell sum, but it would also block the actual thing I want. Making the row 8 question mark a 6 puts 3 in row 6. Okay. So if I make this a 6, oops, that is not what I wanted to do, and you know it. If I make this a 6, it stops this from going that way because the world where this goes that way is so specific. Making this a 6 feels so so heavy-handed, but I don't know. I don't know that it ruins much of what we did. We can try it. So let's see. So that'll be oops. 5, 1, 3, 4. That 5 makes that a 9, which makes that a 7. That 9 makes that a 9. And so now, if this goes this way now, it goes down there. And so now this has to be 2, 3, 5. But this can be none of 2, 3, and 5 in that universe. So it doesn't. It goes that way instead. And so we come down here like that. We have not found our 5 yet, so we keep going. We have not found our 5 yet, so we keep going. Oh, there's another option, right? All right. The oops. Good point. Right. Because it could do. Oh, no, that doesn't work. These two are the same digit in that universe. Because of the apparently I am just an intersecting 10 clues setter now. But that is the intersecting 10 clues deduction. So okay, so we so it does actually still have to go here at least. And now Now it can't go down, because if it goes down from here, then we break the 10 clue in this column. So now it has to go here. And now I guess one question, we never actually checked whether it could go up. Our version ended up doing that to work. We know... oh, do we know this is a 2-8? I don't think I do. This is 4-6 or 1-9. Yeah, the Renbon needs a 5. That's what's been driving this whole thing. Yeah, the Renbon is assuredly not done, but I think it could finish like that or finish like that. And I think it would be okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's possible that this is too short. I don't know yet. So I am currently toying with this to see what happens. Oh, where did my solution count go? I was just curious in the world of F puzzles what this looks like. I can finish up some Sudoku in box 4. Let's see. I have a 1 and a 5 left to place. So that's the 1 and that's the 5. These are 1-9 or 4-6 are the options, I guess. I didn't try all the possibilities. I don't know that the Renbon needs to enter column 8. Because it's possible that it could be one of those. The 1 does look down. I guess it also looks at this box if you're into that kind of thing. Let's see, what is left in this row while we're at it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 3, 7, and 9. That one is, of course, not a 9. That's true. If this is a 6, you can't put 6 in column 4. I agree with that assessment, although I'm not eager to use it. But it is good to know. Yeah, so... Yeah, it's not a 9 by Sudoku, so that's not a 1. Oh, I think the version where it didn't enter... Right, we had the 5 there was what we ended up having to do. 6 is on the Renbon in column 4. That's certainly true. Let's see. We still need to get our 5 somewhere. It's not going to be there. And the 5's not going to be here, actually, either. So it's definitely entering column 7 for the 5. Because this is part of a 2-cell 10 sum, so it doesn't involve a 5. So it does have to at least get to box 7. So that means its minimum length is 8. This is at least 8 long. 7 in box 5 points up. It does. And down, for that matter. Yeah, so there is a 7. here, Todd points out. So I guess, do we know what this 2 cells 10 sum is? Farewell, Chip. Could certainly be. So it's okay. So it is 2 8. That's actually a really nice point, Todd, because the 7 being here actually tells me that this 10 sum is definitely 2 8. And so there's a 2 and an 8 here in this column. I like that. So that cell is not an 8 at the very least. So one of these two is an 8, I suppose. Let's see. So are there any other digits that are getting pinchy to put on here? It's also not a 7. Yes. Good point. Also not a 7. Agree with that. Let's see. So if it goes here, it's exactly 8 long. I mean, we could just say that Renbon don't touch themselves diagonally, but I don't really like that. Let's see. Yeah, and I guess if you actually... Oh, it doesn't work. Sorry. This cannot extend into column 8 if we look at this version. Okay. Is there anything interesting going on in this row? Let's see. The other 2 8's not here. If this is 1 9, does it create any interesting problems with placing digits places? It certainly makes where 9 goes in column 6 really tight. So yeah, if it's 1 9, then we're completely forced to do that, I think. Although I don't love using that deduction, but then no 9 in column 6. Yeah, so if it turns on row 7, it's only 8 long playmaker. So that's why I was saying if this is 1 9, then it can't do that. But I think it might be able to do that. I haven't actually checked what this looks like in the Magic Sudoku machine. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Except in this version, that would be the X. Funnily enough, the X seems to be implied in that case. So it does have solutions. It has solutions both ways. So we've got a little bit of flexibility left to put in put the 5 in row 8, column 2. Oh, yes. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that version, it's actually that version actually, the version where it does that weird thing, that actually fixes the entire puzzle. if you give column 8 2 asterisk clues. Okay. So let's try Jay's suggestion to go asterisk asterisk. So now if we do this now, if this was 1 9, now it would be forced into column 8, and that would break this clue. So now this is not 1 9. Asterisk is some clue, but not specifying how many digits long it is. Although I guess we have not used asterisks yet, so that there is some advantage to be had in not using asterisks. Although I could just do did I could just do question mark, double question mark. I don't think much is lost by doing that instead. Maybe it helps slightly at the beginning, but I don't think it is going to be a huge catastrophe. I guess we also use ... dots only once, which is really unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Anyway, that does get rid of the 1 9 at least. We can play around with exactly how to resolve all of these things at the end. Okay, so it is 4 6, so that is not 6 anymore. Let's see, so that's going to place the 4 in row 6 there. Sorry, row 5. Okay, we still need our 5. This digit in row 4 has to go there, Garian points out. That's very nice. Okay, so this digit has to go here, which actually makes it a 4. That is very astute. Okay, so the rest of this row... Let's see, is there anything interesting going on in the rest of the row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 is what is left. That one's not a 9. I can at least say that much. 4 in row 8 is there. I agree with that. Let's see, 9 in column 4. Do I know there's not a 9 on this line, or do I only know there's not a 9 and a 1 on this line? Because I think I only know there's not both a 9 and a 1 on this line. Unless I know there's a 1 on it somehow already. And I have not noticed. There has to be a 9 on it? Is there no place for a 1 on it? Oh, yes. Just by Sudoku, there is a 9 on it in column 1. Okay, got it. 9, right, you're right. Sorry. I thought the point was 9 has to go here because you can't put 9 on the Renban, but the point was 9 in column 4, if you look at column 4, only goes here. And so there is a 9, and so there is no 1 on this. Oh, by the way, I know that this is gray. So the 1 in this box is now in one of these two cells. Because the 1 can't also go on this without making it too long, which then makes this a 1. Oh, yes, which makes this a 1 for this box. That makes these two a 3 5 pair, I believe, if I count that correctly. Which makes that not a 3 as well. This is a 3 or a 7. This Renbot definitely has a 2 on it because it has a 2-8 pair on it, Tristan. This is a 3 or a 7 for sure. Oops. 3, 7. It's the other 3-7. 6 in row 8 is now forced to be here. Because it can't be there anymore. So now that's a 6. And so that means the line, well, we already knew the line wasn't going to take that cell anyway. Is also placed in column 8. That's true. Oops. Oh, I accidentally did the thing that I've been successfully avoiding this whole time. Of coloring in the wrong mode. Okay, so yeah, the 9, oops, is placed there, is being pointed out. Could do the ... question mark in this row, and that would be a way to at least like rule out this 9 from being part of a Renbon. I think. I was checking to see Garian's suggestion if it or if Garian's suggestion would lead us to the universe of the one version of this. Let's see. There's a 6 in one of these two cells, I suppose. Oh, right. Right. The bottom of column 8 is gray. We know that, right? Because the that was a deliberate choice. Okay. 1, 2. Column 7, we don't know what we're going to do for clues yet, but this one we actively used that this was the bottom of this one. Oh, this is the other 3-7. Hey, Jaleb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can't this be an 8? No, can't be an 8 because there's a 2-8 pair over there. Got it. Okay. So Sayori's point is that actually, if we mark this cell, it gets us the 3-7 pair. I don't really want to use it because it's a little. I think it's a little messy to just pencil mark this cell, but I agree. Yeah, row 8 is going to get like a ... probably. You can fill that in. Oh, visibility on. I guess that's not terrible, Ambrose, as far as these things go. Let's see, what does that work out to be? That works out to be 13 in the end of the, or in that version of the world at least. I was looking at filling in like a 13 clue at the end of this row, but I think it turns out that this actually can be 8, 5, as best I can determine it. These are certainly from 2, 3, 7. Let's see. And in the real version, there's no. Yeah, those could. Yeah, those would be 17. I was just looking to see if I could put like a dot 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 somewhere in here. I'm going to try very hard not to use asterisk because I haven't used asterisk yet, and I don't want to. I don't want to add that rule unless I have to add that rule. If I have to add the rule, then I have to add the rule, and then it's okay. But I think probably this is so close to resolving anyway that probably I can avoid that. This is definitely gray, by the way. I could just put a double-digit clue in this row somewhere, right? That's not like so horrible. I don't think it's super useful until you get to the end. Do we think that's too Oh yeah, we need another clue. I'm not saying I'm not trying to get through without another clue. I'm just trying to get by without another clue type. But I don't know that I think a question mark clue here is horrible. The dreaded ... question mark. Or I guess, funnily enough, we know what's in this column regardless, because it's always the 5, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. No, it is the 5, right? There's always a 5 in this column, regardless. Yeah, the single question mark in column 9 forces a lot, but I think it forces a lot that doesn't match either of our realities. But let's try moving this x down here, and then let's try because I do like that idea. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so that does actually. So yeah, if we do. Okay. So there is a version where it goes down, and we do actually end up with a Renbon over there. Sadly, I can't quite have that. I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I could have that Renbon do that, but not without modifying this. And I think if we modify that, then all kinds of stuff ends up happening. Uh, 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 yeah, let's see. Do we want to try rewinding and not use the fact that we have this at the end here, and try instead to make it so that we have like that Renbon there? I think that might be a better resolution. So let's. Oh boy, this is going to be tough. Let's rewind a bit to where we ungrade that. And so before we did that, so this was all the way back to when we did that part. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Not that either. I don't know what shortcut I hit. Okay. Uh, so so that was where we said, okay, there's nothing more here. Uh, I kind of would rather use this this over here. Uh, so put a question mark here, and let's see if we can sort of force force a renbon in this column that we can do. Do I know for sure that this doesn't have a single digit sum? If it were a single digit sum, it would have to be 2, 3, 4. Do I know for sure this is not 2, 3, 4? Uh, uh, maybe? Uh, well, the 10 sum being 1, 9 breaks, but I didn't like it. Like the argument until we said this piece over here, uh until we assumed that this was complete, that there were no more things down this column, it was a little look aheady to say that this wasn't 1, 9. I'm just trying to force. Sorry, you can't actually see this. I am trying to force that, is what I'm trying to force. Because it was pointed out earlier very rightfully that if we add an additional renbon in column 9, it's very restricted. And I think it shouldn't be too hard to create that. Sorry, I had not fully appreciated that unless I changed my mode, you could not at all see what I was looking at. But that is what I'm trying to do. So it could be 2 cells, but a 2-cell renbon is so much less fun than a 3-cell renbon. Uh, 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 so like what we could do is we could have a second 6 clue in this row. That will do it. Okay. So we can have a second 6 clue in this row. And now as soon as this purple gets here, that 6 can't be a single cell. So the 6 has to be, yes, Jay Dyer and I are our minds are in the same place. Because now that has to look like that. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I have to swap scenes back. Thank you. Now you can't see the scene, can't see the clues. And so now this has to be 2, 4, and it has to be 2, 4 in that order. And so that's now an 8. That's a 3. Row 8 looks bemused, indeed. Okay, and so now we need a 3 somewhere. 9 now is not there, so the 9 is now placed here. I don't think it takes a lot of look ahead to realize I cannot put a 9 on this renbon without destroying the universe, so that's definitely not part of a renbon. And now, now 9 in box 8. Now that is enough to say this definitely isn't 1, 9. Just for the record, because now this can't be 1, 9 because we've now cut off this renbon, which is exactly what we did before, thanks to several people in chat suggestion, but we've now cut it off in a way that I like slightly better. And so now when I ask about where the 9 is in this column, it now is here. Because I guess the point is I can also... The point is these are a 7-9 hidden pair even. So I might as well use that to my advantage. So I guess that means I get this digit for free as well. Because these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so these are 1, 3, 5. So that's something. 2, 3. This is a 4, I believe. Anyway, all of that was just by way of justifying that it's actually a very gettable thing to note that has to be a 9. And so this row is missing... Well, this row is missing a 6, which assuredly goes there. And now this row is missing a... Oh, right. These clues were now not used at all. Right. Okay, thank you. Right. Because we put those there just to say that they were complete, but actually we just don't need those clues at all because we didn't use them anywhere. This digit's a something. It's a 7, I'm being told. So now there's a 7 up here somewhere. This is a 3 or a 7. Well, it's not a 3, actually. There we go. That does it. Actually, that's beautiful because I know there's a 3 on this Renbon, so it's surely not there. So that digit has to be 7, not 3, which means that is 3, which is going to then sort of percolate and chase various things around. One of those is 3. We don't know which one yet, I don't believe. We know that's not on a Renbon. We know that's not on a Renbon. So these are certainly a 3-8 pair. That's true. And that 3-8 pair looks up and makes that a 7 and makes this digit known to be a 1, I believe. And so now that makes this a 7 or a 9, but it's not a 7, so it's a 9. And that is a 7. So that's a 9 and a 3. 7 looks left. That is a 7 just by Sudoku. That's a 2 and that's a 7. Those certainly aren't 7 anymore. Row 6, column 5. In column 4. Right. This digit in column 4 now has to go there, which means it's a 4. This is a 1 or a 3, and it can't be a 1. Because if this were a 1, I'd have both 1 and 9 on my Renbon, and it would be 9 long, and my Renbon can't be 9 long. So that's a 3, and that's a 1. This row, chat has identified, can be filled out like that, making that the 3, so I can put the final touch on this Renbon, making that the 8. Now that's the 2. Aha! And now that 2, that tells me that the Renbon doesn't go up here anymore. Because if the Renbon goes up here, it doesn't get a 2. So the Renbon has to go down here to get the 2 and the 5. You can gray both of those. So now that is the 2 and that's the 5. Okay, and then hopefully everything else just fills in. I think that's a 1. That's a 5 and a 3 just by Sudoku. That's a 1. 2, 3, 4. I still need in this row. And a 5, I think. No, that's not right. I just put a second 4 in the row and the column and the other thing. 2, 3, 4. I still need a 5. That goes there. And a 6, which goes there. Okay. And now, yeah, we can go ahead and fill in our ellipsis. So we'll require some amount of testing to decide exactly how many ellipses we want. But I think this has gone well. I certainly don't think I need to. Oops, I put the dot 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 in the chat instead of on the thing. I don't think we needed to specify that was everything in this column. Just that was the top thing. In this column, we need a dot 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 or a 12 if we want. In this column, I think we also don't really need to specify that this is everything. I don't think. In this column, this just flat out isn't everything, so we definitely need an ellipsis. In this column, it isn't everything, so we need an ellipsis. Here we get an ellipsis. Here we get an ellipsis, although I could put a second 10 or a 17th 10, depending on exactly how you're counting. We've done the classic, like completely by accident, we've done the double-digit clue works out to be a 10 thing that happens a lot. I think technically here we could have an ellipsis here. We'll have to like double check this. Well, an asterisk clue at least tells you there's something there. The dot 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 just says I'm not going to tell you. Although I might I might just put some of the clues on the left and some of the clues on the right. Oh, I can't because of this 10. This 10 is in the middle. Are you sure, microstudy? Is that how I did it in Berlin? I thought it was backwards. I thought it was the other way. Well, I will double check that I am hewing to the standard. So it might be that. But I think with the understanding that dot 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 means 0 or more clues. Yeah, so it's asterisk. Asterisk is something or nothing. Okay. A long and storied history of meaning 0 or more. Let's see. Let's pull up. Logic Masters Germany. Let's pull up Berlin. I'm just curious. When I did this puzzle, yeah, I really remember it that way, Jay, but the zetamath password length revealed, indeed. Let's see, Berlin. Okay, which way did I do it here? Oh, I didn't use asterisks at all in Berlin. Not, of course, to mean that like the way I did it once is the be all and end all, just that this is how I remembered it working. So I did use it that way in my previous one. But I will check the world of places that people have put things. They're both menace-coded clues. At least I didn't use both this and asterisks in that one. Yeah, dot 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 is basically just saying ignore this. What I kind of wish I could do is just have like a question mark on this side and a 6 on the right, and just have you not have to think about it at all. But I can't quite with the way that I have set up this puzzle. Okay, so saw both clue types and were horrified. Yeah, we can have all the kinds of clues. Yeah, let's see. We've only got 4 question mark clues. But I think probably it is worth having the 4 question mark clues rather than just writing in the numbers. Uh, I will have to test this, of course, but I'm going to test it later. Let's see. Editing URL. Right. Okay. So I should copy this and then I should uh, Discord it to Tristan. My usual way of saving things when I'm on stream. Where did Tristan go? Oh no. Did Tristan block me on Discord? It doesn't look like he did. Okay, there we go. Uh, yeah, I actually liked MicroStudy in 3 of Diamonds. I specifically did not do the everything has full or none. I just did the like you get the first one in that direction and that's it. Which I did. Unfortunately, Tristan, you messaged me after I had already sent you the message, but I appreciate the love and effort in this particular endeavor. But yeah, so anyway, I think I'm going to be happy with this. I'll have to test it and see whether or not there is a disaster when I go and test it. But I enjoyed this enough. I kind of want to do the version I was originally going to do, where it is like this, but with potpourri lines, where some of the lines will have a given constraint, and some of them you'll have to deduce the constraint in some horrifying way. Like my original idea was just like a 10 that's purple, a 10 that's blue, and a 10 that's green, where you have to sort of then fill them in. But I decided that would be a little horrible. But like a 10 with like a GW, I think would be fine. But then the like clue types, I suppose, can touch or something. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I decided I hadn't done anything like it enough for me to set something that insane for the first go. So I figured I would go for the quote unquote sane version, which I think this version should be sane, hopefully. Yeah, I do like the Renbon shapes. So MicroStudy, that's one possibility, is that every clue type within a row is a different type. However, that omits the possibility that you can't have a Renbon touching a Renbon, but you can have a Renbon touching a German Whisper. And so that if two things were Renbons and they were bumping heads, that you'd have to scooch them apart. So like there's different kinds of nasty that you can you can pick out of this. But I was inferring, or at least in my mind when I imagined it, I was thinking like clue types can't touch, like in this puzzle, but unlike clue types can touch. But heaven forbid it might be too horrible. Either that or I'll just make a version of it where it's all single and double question marks and no other clues, and then it will just go maximum horribleness. But I usually try to be not too horrible, and I am quite happy with the Renbon shapes that sort of naturally evolved out of this. And I'm glad so many of you came to hang out with me while I made this on our sort of last minute thing. Zetamath delayed Colot challenge entry. Yeah, God. At least I was thinking single and double question marks. I don't think single and double question marks is so bad. Only single question marks with also being a chaos construction, I think, is pretty bad as these things go. My Colot entry would be some question marks and a single black dot. It would be mandatory. The rules for the black dot would be a link to a real puzzle. That would be the plan. But yes, I think this works. Yeah, I guess I have not like scanned real quick to make sure that all of the clues actually are correct. Yeah, there we go. So probably, yeah, 6s and 10s are the theme of this puzzle, it would seem, because we've got And then we've got a really awkward 8, and a stray 5. What should the puzzle be called, I guess, is the other question that I should ask chat before I go and have to decide what word I name this, and inevitably call it Zig. That's right. Every clue is even except the 5. Uh, that is interesting as well. Uh, uh, even 5. See, yeah, the clues are, yeah. See if people spot Y. Yeah, let's see. Even 5 is odd. Uh, yeah, some of the question mark clues are not are odd. That's true. Uh, who knows what the parody of question mark is? It is impossible to say, right? Uh, uh, all right. Well, send your suggestions on Discord for what we call this. I will, I will attempt to test this uh, myself, and if I succeed in testing it without discovering any horrible errors, then I will contemplate posting it and testing, or if I encounter any errors, I'll post about it in over in the Discord. But thanks everyone for hanging out. I will be streaming again on Friday, I think, barring any weird school things. I intend to be streaming my normal time on Friday, as well as Sunday. So thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you to everyone who supports the stream. I saw some new faces today, so great to see you around. If you are new, please subscribe. Greatly appreciated. And last but not least, I will thank the turbines, Daniel, Danita, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and DDX. Thank you so much. By the way, Tristan will be doing other things tomorrow, so Tristan won't be streaming. So that is also worth noting. All right, but that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.